All right, how's it going, everybody? Ecom Tom here, back with another live event. I think I missed last week, but this week we are back, and I have a student here, Donnie, who actually used to live in my apartment complex, or still does. I don't live in the apartment complex anymore, in Boston, and he has been killing it with Facebook Marketplace. So before we get into it, be sure to smash that like button. Let's get this video out to as many people as possible. And let's ask our questions here. Any questions that you have, ask in the chat. We're gonna try to get to every single one. Last time we did a live like this, we had a lot of people on, so I had to skip a little bit, but I'm gonna try to get to every question. And without further ado, Donnie, please introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself and your experience before you started doing Facebook Marketplace dropshipping.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So my name's Donnie, and I am from Tampa, Florida. Live in Boston. Have very little experience, to be honest with you, with anything e-commerce, drop shipping. However, I started in about November, and I went on I took the course, went through the class, watched all the videos, and just kind of did everything, just like they said to do it, and got my first sale kind of within a week, and yeah, kind of been working at it pretty regularly. Have hired a couple VAs along the way, and I've found it to be super successful and far beyond what I skeptically thought that it would be, to be honest with you.
When we met in the elevator of our apartment complex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that. And you said beforehand, before we got on, and when I first met you, that you did do Shopify, or you ran a store for a bit before that, right?
Yeah. So I started selling like grill equipment, and just took a shot at the grill space.
Really?
And like grill mats.
Yeah.
So you know how like the asparagus goes between the grates when you're grilling, and how annoying that is? I started sourcing grill mats from AliExpress or something, and set up a Shopify store, and got a few sales there. So it definitely kind of got me familiar with how to use different platforms and all of that. But that was probably like a 6-month process, and generated maybe a few $1,000s in sales, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing we try to teach with Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Like, I'm sure you've realized so far with Facebook is it's much quicker to get started. It's much easier to get started. Like, how long did it take to put together your Shopify? And you're like the first one I ever brought on that I think that has any form of Shopify experience. As little as you may think you have more than most people that I've brought on. How long did it take to even make like a fully functioning or like normal looking website or, anything like that?
Well, I mean, it took forever. Like I started to build. Well, to be honest with you, I started to build it, and then I hired somebody else to do it because it took forever. So not only did it take time, but it cost me extra money as well.
And were you running ads too, like on Facebook?
Yeah. And I was sending them to influencers and just like the
grill mat influencers.
Yeah, it's like, who do you even send that to?
I don't know, Guy Fieri.
I got one sale. And I think it was like probably like the influencer's mom, like it was somebody very random.
That's funny. All right, so moving on. I have a few questions written down, and of course, guys, ask your questions, and we'll get to them as we are done with my initial set of questions. So we asked what your experience was. You said you got your first sale. How long into it? About a week, you said? Yeah,
it was about a weekend, and I posted, I think, 3 products, which now I know, the more sales is a direct result of more listings. And, but I had like 3 products up, and one product absolutely smashed of the 3, and the other 2 had, like 100 views. No,
like duds.
Yeah, nothing. There was just nothing. And then one product just kind of exploded. And like, I think my first week, dead serious, very honest with you, I think it was like a $1,200 week.
Damn, that's pretty damn good. I mean, we've seen a lot of students hit something like that. And also, I did forget to mention, for anybody that is watching right now, we do have the St. Patrick's Day sale going on for all of our courses. They'll be 40% off until the end of tonight, I believe. It might stay open until tomorrow, but the link is only going to be there till tonight. It's down in the description down below, and I will pin the comment as well. So if you are interested, or if you have been, we're 40% off right now. So this is a time to get into it if you've ever been interested. So after that's out of the way. So one thing I wanted to ask is that also when you found one good product, which I didn't know, like out of the 3 that you listed, 1 took off. Did you, for more success, further success, did you go further down the rabbit hole of like something similar to that product, or did you like just start listing other random products after that?
Yeah, so it was actually this dining chair that I sourced from, I think it was Amazon, and it was the same product was sourced on Home Depot, Lowe's, Wayfair, All Modern. Like it was on all of them. Like it was one of those products that's just like on all of them. And it did so good apparently on everybody's because it ran out. Like it just ran out.
Like everywhere.
Which that was a problem as well that we had to fix. But yeah, so from there I was kind of forced to look at other products and realized quickly that it's not, it's not a same size fits all type of thing. You post a similar chair and you get the same results. It wasn't quite like that. So from there we were like, you know what, let's go into other products, and started listing kind of all other things furniture.
That's it's a great niche. We always said furniture, home thing, anything in the home and kitchen category is usually going to be good. Sporting goods, which, like as we say, the Amazons, Walmarts, Home Depots, that's going to be a lot of what they have. It's just very popular items altogether, year-round things. And yeah, I feel like I say this a lot, but I feel like the niche on Facebook Marketplace is more like moms or like in the middle-aged women. And it's just like the home and kitchen category seems great for that.
It's true.
So this was one question that I had already written down, but I'm not sure how it would fit. But you said that out of the first 3 items you listed, 1 did well, but I did have a question written down about how many listings until, your sales were consistent across the board. Like you did say that item ran out. Did your sales like dip for a bit and then you had to go list more items and eventually catch back up?
Yeah, for sure. Like probably the next 2 or 3 weeks was me realizing and learning that you need more listings. Like you just got to have more listings and more listings. I think I even shot you a message or something, and you're like, "Man, you just gotta list more." And I was like, "Yeah, wow, that's really helpful." And honestly, it was true. So I think it was probably when I got to 50 to 60 listings, which feels like a whole lot, but I just kind of committed to 10 a day. And within like the next week or 2, I started to see consistent sales coming in, and it hasn't stopped since.
There you go. So, that's another thing. I get comments all the time, questions in the course, things like that, where it's like, Tom, I need help with this, or I've been listing, and then they end up saying that they only had like you said, 3 items. I've had people say recently, I've been listing for a while. I got 3 items listed. I was like, you haven't been listing for a while. You probably just listed yesterday once to get the 3 items. But, the more listings, the better. It's not like, then this is the difference where with like a Shopify store, you could have a couple listings, or the one product store that people talk about. You drive your traffic. Eventually, if you get it to all work very well, then you won't need a multitude of listings or only a few listings or a handful. But, with Facebook Marketplace, another thing I do want to ask is that when you list the items up, the more items, obviously, the more sales you're going to be getting, but eventually they do fall off too. And have you seen that? Obviously, you can't renew them. You renew them however many times you can, the 5 times you can renew them, and then they kind of fall off after that. Do they not?
Yeah, I think you can relist them 6 times after your initial post, so a total of like you can have them listed 7 times.
Yeah.
But I've also found that like after 7 times, mostly the product's out of stock anyways.
Yeah, it's a popular one. Yeah.
Yeah, so keeping them fresh is just, I think, essential. Like you have to just keep fresh listings up there daily.
And that's the one thing with Facebook Marketplace. So, with eBay, it's kind of similar because eBay is like the same thing. And it's the 2 different marketplace type criteria where on Facebook and eBay you list, and then it's just a singular item every single time. You listed it. Somebody could else have the same item, but it's not going to go under one like unique SKU. Your listing, his listing, anybody's listing. But on Amazon, that's where the difference comes into play with Amazon, where you find some good items, and as long as you don't get sniped or undercut, then if those items sell well, they're going to sell well forever because it's 13 people that are on that item are all on the same listing. So that's why, I mean, Amazon's better for that, but for the beginner, it's much easier to be on Facebook because Amazon has its own issues, a lot of them. They're a little strict on their sellers. And then, so just before we go into the large, everybody else's questions here, basically, how many listings do you have up right now, about, give or take? And then what is your profit per month, or like the last 3 months, like you said?
So I probably right now, Facebook's interesting with it. Like it's like it doesn't list them out for you and show you exactly how many you have. Like, you know, if you have 199, it says you have 100 plus items.
Yeah.
If you have, you know, 300 or 299, it's like 200 plus items. So I pretty much stick within 200 plus to 300 plus items at a time. I got a sourcing sheet that's got, you know, over 1,000 products on it now, that probably 300 of them are up on Facebook right now.
And I didn't even know that you hired virtual assistants, you said, or you hired somebody.
Yeah, so I hired two VAs, and that's been the biggest game changer. And they're incredible to work with. They work super hard, and the biggest thing is they're super happy with the pay. I mean, that was one, you know, concern of mine, but like as it translates, it's, you know, they're getting good pay and super happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, another thing, you know, you always hear, or I always have heard over the years, like, oh, the minimum wage in the Philippines, are they from the Philippines?
Yeah.
Yeah, the minimum wage in the Philippines is like $200, $300 a month or something like that. You always hear that, and I was like, oh, I don't know, is it actually like that bad? And in my apartment complex here, there's a man whose fiance is Filipino, from the Philippines, and she said that like she ran a party hostel and she was making like $3,000 a month. She was absolutely rich, like loaded over there. Like $3,000 a month is absolutely loaded. She said the average is like $200, $350 a month. So yeah, it is true. It's like, it is true what the pay is. So if you're giving them even $500, $600, $700, $800 a month, however much you're paying them and however much they're working, like they are extremely happy with that pay. And I don't know if you ever looked at pictures of driving in like Manila or anywhere in the Philippines, like commuting. It does not look fun. Like the traffic jams are absolutely wild, like that make anything in the US look like child's play. It's absolutely wild. So, oh yeah. Also, did you talk about how much profit it is a month at the moment? It's around 5,000.
Yeah, it's ranging from like 5 to 7 a month, 5 to 7K a month.
I mean, that's damn good. And oh, I didn't even ask what the profit margin. I don't know if you have anything up or just off the top of your head on it. Like,
yeah, well, we kind of stuck with what you suggested in the course. I think it was a 33% suggestion on Facebook Marketplace, and so we've, you know, with the calculators and everything that you supply with the course, we've just been using those and try to keep it right at, you know, some are upwards of 50, 60% just because they're priced astronomically low on whatever the site is that you're sourcing from.
Yeah.
And I have products that I make $200 in one sale. And like today, I mean, I posted this product and made $200 on one sale, and it took nothing. And it's an absolutely ridiculous chair that I would never personally buy, to be honest, but it's like somebody loves it. And yeah, I mean,
that
great product.
They love it. I mean, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
There's one thing. I had my mom start working in one of my stores, and she was just like, Thomas, I can't believe you're selling these things. Like, why do people buy this? I was like, I'm not. Are you asking questions, or are you just like here to fulfill the orders or make sure the store is running well? Like, I'm not asking questions. Like, as long as they're selling, I'm providing, and that's it. That's all I need to know. But yeah, I mean, so that was basically all of my questions. We're going to go into the questions that everybody has here going live right now. And like I said, be sure to ask your questions. Be sure to smash that like button. We'll get this out to as many people as possible. And if you are interested in the drop shipping, any of the courses, they're all on sale, 40% off for, you know, until the end of tomorrow, I believe it will be. So check that out. The link is in the description down below. So any questions? I'm going to read them out loud, Donnie. And then from there, if it's something that's a little more specific, I'll answer it. If not, I'll push it off to you, or we'll both answer it together. So, hi, Tom. Facebook canceled an item I sold before I could upload the tracking number from Walmart. Walmart was a bit I don't even know what that means. It was late sending the tracking, I'm assuming. My email to customer support is not going through. So one thing with Facebook is that they are very strict on getting the tracking uploaded within the 3 days. We've even seen some people get, the items canceled. I don't know if that's happened to you. Even if the tracking wasn't uploaded before 3 days, just like on the third day, not at the end of the third day. But like, you need to make sure that you're getting the items out on time, or the tracking uploaded on time. And I don't know what email the customer support, whether it's Facebook or Walmart. You can try to open up a ticket on Facebook on your cell phone. And if not, it might have to just be a loss. I guess that feeds into a question I have for you, Donnie. What was like the biggest issue you've had so far with Facebook Marketplace dropshipping? As long as it's not like too long-winded, I guess.
Oh, yeah. No, one of the biggest, the biggest thing is you just got to do things right. And the biggest thing I've had so far, that's happened to me, where they've canceled my order and they're not going to change it. They're not going to do anything about it. You can kind of get people to, possibly buy it again. But yeah, there's no kind of way around that. The biggest one for me is Amazon it shut my account down just because they thought there was like some sort of fraud activity. But yeah, exactly. They have really great customer service, though. Super responsive, super low wait times, and I've just gotten comfortable giving them a call and saying, "Hey, that was me. I made that purchase." And they've adjusted, the settings in my account because of that now, and that's not really a problem anymore.
Yeah. One thing about that too is you can make an Amazon Business Prime account, like for business purchasing account, if you do have an LLC or a business in general. And I noticed when I was doing a lot of Amazon onto eBay back in the day, like 2018, I had one store or one Amazon account I did 22,000 purchases on in like 6-7 months. And eventually after 22,000, it got shut down. And then after that, it was like every like 4,000 or 5,000. But you're doing a lot less volume usually with Facebook Marketplace. It's going to be usually higher profit margins in general. You're not going to be pumping out. I think the first year I was on on eBay, I did 53,000 individual sales. So that was just like outrageous. Where if hopefully the numbers are a lot lower on Facebook and you get just as good a profit because the profit margins are much higher. And at that point in time, if you get the Business Prime account, you should probably be fine. So that is one thing that you can look into moving forward. So we answered that one. Let's go to Bosco Enriquez. Hello, Tom. I have a Facebook Marketplace question regarding payouts. I have had 3 sporadic payouts this past month. I cannot figure out when I am supposed to get paid. Most of my items are in transit or delivered. So basically, once they get delivered, once the tracking number is said delivered, after 5 days, they're supposed to initiate the payout. And initiating the payout through the automatic clearinghouse isn't very automatic. The ACH is not usually very automatic. And, it takes anywhere between 2 to 3 days. If there's a weekend, that could mess with things. And we have seen sometimes where Facebook either didn't send it out, or they show that they don't send it out online. And then you can check your bank account. Maybe they did actually send it out, just didn't update on their website. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Donnie.
Well, one thing is just if you, in your little commerce profile area, if you click on your sales, they have that like payout date. And I've learned that that's the day that the payout begins. And so you can kind of assume that 3 to 5 days after that is when you're going to get your money.
Yeah. It doesn't always seem to be 100% accurate, but it it's a ball.
Usually though.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one thing. I've been saying is that Facebook Marketplace has been around for like 4 years. I don't know, 4 or 5 years, but the whole shipping aspect of it has not been around for very long. Like, we have clearly taken the most advantage of the ability to have the shipping option, I'd say, in the last 6 months, because there's a lot of people that are taking this and running with it and making a lot of money with it. But I don't know if they expected, this many people hopping on or this many people doing this. or like the volume that some people are pushing out because they're drop shipping and they don't have to hold the inventory or buy it up front. So there's always been issues, and I could imagine that there will be issues moving forward for 6 months to another year, because it's a fledgling platform. Like even eBay has issues, and they've been around since 1998 or whatever. Like it's clearly they're not gonna get their act together now if they haven't already. But all right, so we got that one. Lewis is a student as well. He said, I made 9K profit last month. March's been all over. Has been slower, only like 4K profit so far. But check out my channel here to help. Lewis does have videos there too. So thank you very much, Lewis, for showing up and spreading the good words. Necesito, I don't even know what this means. I need something active. Okay, thanks. I don't know. We'll move on from that one. Ronald says, would you advise people to start retail dropshipping, looking to diversify from Facebook Marketplace? I know wholesale dropshipping is a thing, but retail with obscure suppliers seems the next logical step. Looking for advice. So one thing I want to say is that, it's 2021. eBay said in 2019 that they don't like retail dropshipping, and I'm not saying it doesn't still work. It definitely does still work. If you want to move off of Facebook Marketplace, Facebook right now is the only platform that we sell on that just doesn't have, or that I teach, that we sell on that doesn't have any drop shipping policy, to my knowledge. I mean, when I haven't checked I don't check every day, but last I checked, they don't have one. But eBay does. And they do say, don't use retail drop shipping suppliers. It's against their terms of service. Can you still do it? Yes. But moving forward, if you already know how to do all this on Facebook, like you might as well look into diversifying into wholesale drop shipping, or at least going with a very obscure supplier, because you're just going to set your eBay store up for a little bit of a rough road, especially since it's been well over 2 years now since they said that they don't like retail dropshipping. I'm not saying you couldn't start it and make money with it. I'm just saying if I were you, knowing what I know now, I'd probably move into wholesale dropshipping. Did you look at any wholesale suppliers recently, Donnie?
Yeah, we actually we just locked into 2 or 3 this week that we're gonna kind of trial, and we haven't really posted any of them yet, but
okay,
kind of sorting through and building out a sourcing sheet at the moment.
Do you plan to put them on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I mean, why not? Like it's free to list, and
yeah,
it immediately increases your profit margin. So I figure, why not?
I mean, it makes sense. It's definitely something. I've listed wholesale suppliers on a marketplace and gotten sales same day. And it's going to give you access, one, to either a cheaper price of, you can take the same suppliers. I mean, you might have found like a more out there one, but if you have like a typical wholesale supplier that a lot of people know, they're going to be on Amazon. They're going to be on eBay because people are already selling them on Amazon and eBay, but most people aren't selling them on Facebook Marketplace. So you're most likely going to get either exclusivity on that item or just a cheaper price, where you're going to be cheaper than anybody else, and you can, compete. Your 30% will be, their 30% profit will be, a couple dollars lower than somebody else's, or $10 lower than somebody else's. And that's where the competition comes in. Because I've done some searches even on Facebook Marketplace of like some of my items titles, or like a ballpark title of some of my items. And, there's a decent amount of people listing some of them. I'm sure you may have seen the same thing. Like there are some people listing a decent amount of people listing some of the same items, but that's where diversification, multi-packs, bundles, wholesale suppliers, things like that all come into play. So Ronald says, I'm looking for to hire VAs for Facebook Marketplace fulfilling, but I'm weary of getting banned for foreign access. Can you speak of that? Has that happened to you at all, Donnie? Your VA's account?
No, the 2 that I've used so far, which I asked in kind of the interview process, is if they had access to a VPN, which just makes it look like they're local
in the United States.
Yeah, so that hasn't happened to me.
Yeah, it hasn't happened to me either. I think a few times, even without a VPN on eBay, they've like made some questions or like what's going on, yada yada yada. And it's really not a big deal. I wouldn't be worried about it. At the very least, if you are worried about it, Ronald, just have them get a VPN. You can buy them a VPN, like NordVPN or private internet access. It's really not expensive think private internet access is like $3 a month. So I need to actually re-up my subscription to that. So how can I start dropshipping on Facebook Marketplace when I'm from Europe? So that's kind of an issue. If you're in Europe, you're going to have to do it in the country that you're in, which most likely, I mean, I can guarantee does not have the shipping option. So you're going to have to sell locally, or you can just drop ship to people. We have people in the UK that I know personally and that are inside of the training. Australia, other countries, like I think we had somebody from Italy once say that they've been drop shipping on their marketplace. You just have to list them up and facilitate the sale through PayPal or any other obscure, just payment processing system, so that they, it's the same thing minus, them actually having a little button to buy on Facebook. Have you done any deals off of Facebook, Donnie?
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. Have I what?
Have you done any deals like off of Facebook through PayPal or through like Venmo or anything?
Yeah. I mean, I usually don't suggest it, just because I don't know, some people kind of feel like it's sketchy.
Yeah. If you don't have to, then don't. But
yeah, no, I've definitely taken plenty of payments through Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, you'd name it. I'll download Zelle right now.
I did that once too. I downloaded Zelle immediately. I don't really like it, but I have it.
I can't stand it. I mean, it's definitely easier to do it through Facebook, but I mean, yeah, for sure.
It is what it is. You gotta give the customer what they want.
Right.
So Asher says, I made $6K this month dropshipping on Facebook. Congratulations. Why don't I go instead? I don't know. If you want to come on, maybe you can. Jameson Griffith says, excited for this. Hey, Tom, everyone smash that like button. Get this video out to as many people as possible. Thank you very much, Jameson. He disappeared. I think Jameson was on every single live I ever did for about like 14 months straight, and then he disappeared for a couple, but he's back now. I'm appreciative. So thank you very much. VAs do what exactly? They do whatever your heart desires, TM. Anything that you could ever want, they'll do for you. But I mean, what do you have yours doing, Donnie?
That's been like one of the biggest curves, is like figuring out how to best utilize their time. But I have them sourcing, listing, posting, responding to messages, doing inventory checks just to make sure things are still in stock. One of the platforms that you had us use was, what is it called again? The inventory one?
SKU-Grid?
Yeah, SKU-Grid. And sometimes like that's not 100%. Like it can be a bit finicky, and so just making sure they're going through those listings, making sure those are up to date, and yeah. But mainly just listing. Yeah. And then I've got them also processing orders.
You gave him your credit card number?
Yeah, I did.
No, I know. I mean, a lot of people make a big deal about it. I have many people in the Philippines have my credit card number. Were you worried about it?
I mean, I was, until I realized how helpful it was. Yeah. I'm like, man, I'm far more worried about not getting these orders fulfilled than I am not getting my money back when I dispute the money they stole from me from my bank, So
that's what most people don't realize. If it happens, or if somebody steals from you, you can just usually do a chargeback and you'll be fine. Like, oh, I literally got frauded. They can tell. It's really not the biggest deal. So VAs can do whatever you want. I'm pretty sure you named off just about every aspect of your business that you have them doing, at least to a degree, which I'm sure in the future you can even add like a manager in there to oversee them, and then you can just sit back and not really have to do that much. You don't even have to overlook them. Pay them out. We have like a bookkeeping VA. I mean, we have a lot. They can do whatever your heart desires. William Claus says, Facebook Marketplace lets you choose the area of up to 500 miles. Is there any way to expand that? It doesn't matter, because if you have the shipping option, people throughout the United States will be able to see it. So it doesn't matter whether it's 500. And no, I haven't seen the ability to expand it above 500. So 500 miles is what you got. It doesn't really matter though. Chance says, I can't wait to start doing this. Excited to have you. If you decide to join on here with us, I mean, it's going to be something that will benefit you. I can guarantee you that, as long as you take the time and put in the effort and the action. A lot of people will buy the course or the training, or try and say that I listed 2 items and then it went in 2 months I didn't make any sales. And you got to put in the work, and some people might be successful on their first couple, other people might not. So you got to put in the work to actually learn it all and then reap the rewards from there. Ronald said that he's a Shopifyer to Facebook Marketplace, same as you. It's with Shopify, again, most people, even when I say drop shipping, like I feel like most people just assume that means Shopify. And it's kind of like at this point where, like, I even talk to a lot of people here in Mexico, and they're like, they run the Shopify stores that are e-commerce people. And it's just like, they don't even want, people start introducing me as like the kid that drop ships on like other platforms. Never heard of this like way of drop shipping before. I don't understand it, but it's the way that it is. We got Motivation Daily says, hey Tom, I want to make $100 a day from eBay, and I want to make eBay dropshipping my main weekly income. Do you think it's possible to make around $500 to $700 a week eBay dropshipping? Yes, it's definitely possible. You could do Facebook Marketplace dropshipping and probably make it easier, but with eBay, you can definitely make $100 a day. It's just all about exactly what Donnie said earlier and what I've been preaching for a while: listing more items, and the sales will come. I mean, it's as simple as that. I'm not here to say when it'll happen. It's all about how much work you put in, but it can happen, and there's people that definitely do it. So it's achievable. We got Hustle Williams in here. How's it going, Brian? I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm glad to hear that you're still alive and you're around. So come on more often or send me a message. Danny says, what is the average price of the products you sell? I've tried different prices and I've made a couple sales, but I think I'm not getting there yet. This is a question for you, Don. This one's, you got your name on it.
Yeah, I like to do, I started out kind of giving myself a marker of like $100 to $200 products that I felt could easily go for $300 to $400, just shooting for high profit. And then one of our VAs posted this, like, I don't know, like a $50 table from Amazon, and I've probably sold that table 60 times. So I was like, man, we need a good mix. So I try to post products that are under $60, a whole bunch of those, and then a whole bunch of products that are $100 to $200. I try not to go too high because Facebook Marketplace does have, I think, a $500 sales cap on what you can ship, and I want to make a good profit. And so $100 to $200 gives me the ability to list it for $300 to $400 if it's the right product. Some of it, it's $250, $300, and I don't know that that's an answer, but that's what I do, and it seems to be working.
The answer is that there's really no average. I mean, there's it's kind of like what you said. There's two sweet spots that you aim for. I think that you can make it work in any area. I know that we have a lot of people that sell a ton of low price items every single day. They got the $10 items that they're selling for $25, $30. They got even $5 items that they're selling for like $15. I've hit all those ranges, and it's really about what works for you. And if you haven't gotten where you don't think you're there yet, Danny, then I would just try to list more items. There's no real one size fits all solution that you need to list items within the average price range of 50 to this. No, it's not like that. It's just, it's whatever works for you. So TM says daily, of course, I don't know what that is. Net or gross, I don't know what this is. It's profit, $5,000 profit per month, 5 to 7,000. We got Tiffany here, says, hey, Tom from Maryland. How's it going, Tiffany? She's been pretty on top of showing up to all my lives as well. Thank you very much. We got Jake, says he did 1K this week. Congratulations. I don't know if that's sales or not sales. And then it says, heck yeah, Jake, nice work. Do you have Tom's course? Tracking numbers. Anything out there better than Shipper Bay? I tried OA, Genius, but the dates are 5 days out. I'm wasting too much time on tracking. Any advanced techniques for it? So all I'm going to say about tracking numbers is that inside of the training, we do have one other option for it. and I'm not going to mention it here on the live. If you are interested in it, it is inside of the training, but it's not the best. There's no real one size fits all option, especially after UPS kind of screwed over Tracker Jack and its ability to work. UPS is pretty much the issue for that. Lazy Abrams here says, yo, how's it going? And then Danny said, how's it going, man? Thanks for showing up. And Danny says, when listing your items, what's the quantity you write down? Do you have a specific quantity you write, Donnie?
Nah, to be honest, it's pretty random. Chairs, I typically do a higher quantity because I feel like it. It feels less like, people are looking at a store when it comes to chairs, and chairs often sell a lot. Like I don't like to list like this is just personal preference, but I don't like to list like 100 quantity, because then people immediately are like, what is this? Is this a person? Is this a store? And so I try to avoid those questions as best I can. But yeah, like 10, 20.
That makes sense. Honestly, that's like a good idea, because it still does show that it's coming from your face, who you are, and they'll be like, all right, why does this person have so many items listed at 100? And although I don't think it'll matter too much, there is always the person that wants to ask questions, and it's more on Facebook than any other platform I've ever seen, where like they'll go in and like my mom's like, somebody's berating you right now, like saying that you don't have the right plug, like this isn't the right plug electrical capacity for this, for whatever you're saying this thing does. I was like, bro, I have no idea. Like it might be the wrong plug, it might be the right plug. I don't know. I'm sure we've gotten quite a few interesting questions as well. All right, so we got a decent amount of questions. We're only at like 7 minutes or 8 minutes into the questions, and we've been on here for like 35 minutes, but be sure to smash that like button. We're going to try to go a little bit faster to the questions here, and yeah, let's do it. So is Walmart and Home Depot no good for eBay anymore? Like I said, you can do it, but if you're just getting started, like you said you are, like there's really no point. I mean, it's not that there's no point, it's just that you could start off stronger not doing it that way. What do you do for shipping? I just entered someone else's UPS or USPS tracking number and then contact them, telling them to disregard because Facebook doesn't support my logistics I use for shipping. You could do that. Like I said, there's one trick that we have inside of the training that I don't talk about on a live. When I list multiple times a day, I feel that I get pushed to the bottom. Do you feel that way, Donnie?
I don't know how I don't know how you would gauge that even.
I don't think you can. It's just a feeling that he has. But I have no clue. I don't think that that's what happens, and it shouldn't be what happens, because when you're listing more, it should go up. But how many listings would I need on eBay to make $100 a day? Again, like, dude, you could have one listing, you could have 100 listings, you could have one that made you $100 profit in one sale. These types of questions are not really calculable, and there's no real one size fits all answer. For both of you, how do you manage your time? I'm selling 30 to 50 items per day, and any time saver tips would be good. What would you say the number one time saving tip that you have is?
Hiring a VA.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it is hiring somebody else to take on the work. Like I've always said for the last however many years, you want to be working on your business, not in your business. If you're doing the same repetitive tasks every single day that somebody else could be doing for you, then you should outsource it. And you should look at what you're doing every single month and say, is this outsourceable? Am I wasting time on it? Whether it's a couple hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, it takes mental capacity, it takes willpower, and it's draining. Like you could ruin your whole day if you had to do a 1 hour task that's absolutely terrible at the beginning of the day. You might not want to work for the rest of the day because it wasn't fun. And you could, have a very productive day because maybe you didn't have that terrible task. So it's really all about saving as much time as possible by outsourcing to other people and taking advantage of a difference in prices of what you can live on in other countries, a currency difference. Like I'm making money in the United States, living in Mexico, and paying people in the Philippines, and it seems to be quite a nice balance. And it's the way to take the biggest advantage of your money, I guess, and time. Where are we? When our VAs set up a listing, Facebook thinks we're selling out of the Philippines and chooses pesos as our currency. Is their way around that? So that's where the VPN would come into play. Do you know what VPN your VAs use?
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. I wish I did.
Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty similar. It's really not the biggest deal. They're all, I mean, there's only like one, like IP Burger gives you a specific IP that hasn't been reused, but besides that, I have a VA doing 10 a day. I was sketched out at first, but I haven't had an issue yet. There you go. I feel like that's how most people feel with virtual assistants when they first get started. But then eventually you realize that it's amazing. Like I feel like if you had a full-time job and you were working from home and like maybe it was stuff to do with like spreadsheets, you could literally outsource your job. Like I feel like there's people that have definitely done that, like their actual 9 to 5. Putting listings as the amount of money you can handle. Put the listings as the amount of money you can handle. I like to put around 6. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Where are we? Let login. Sorry if you have already been at or talked about this. How do you find winning items? And what is the sweet spot price for the pricing? So we already talked about there is no sweet spot price. Again, it's up to whatever's selling. And then winning items. I mean, there's multiple different ways to go about it. We teach different methods inside of the training. Pretty similar to how I teach how to find items on eBay, which is on YouTube. I have many videos about it. And it's really just about finding hot selling items, whether you're looking at your supplier's website for the top items there, or you're going on a different website, a marketplace that is selling, items are selling well there. We're not going to give away too much on that topic. You mentioned VAs, and there's a lot of questions about VAs now. Sometimes if you mention like taxes, the questions are all about taxes. VA company recommendations. Where'd you get yours?
I did hire.ph. Shoot, what is it? It's actually the one you recommended to me. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I mean,
onlinejobs.ph, I think.
It's probably one of the best ones. How much do you pay your VAs?
Mine are at $4 US an hour.
Yeah, it's not bad. Good starting point. Why would anyone use a VA? I mean, what? Do you not realize that you can do everything in bulk automation with CSV spreads, order processing? Good luck with that, TM, especially with Facebook Marketplace. It's not going to work. I'm in Australia and I'm drop shipping in the US. Will there be any problems with that in the future? You're going to most likely need a US-based business, and that would probably be the problem. So I had the bulk upload option for like a week, then it disappeared. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, I don't even have it on any accounts. From what I've seen, it's really not that helpful. Have you used it yet, or do you have it?
I started using it and then it disappeared, just like Grant saying.
So I guess it's a common trend. I mean, maybe they got rid of it because from what I saw, you couldn't even upload images with it, right? So it's just like titles and descriptions or something.
Yeah, and then it didn't even save you time because you had to go through and basically fix it all.
Yeah, it's a pain. Motivation might have some complications with taxes, but otherwise your prob's chilling. I don't know. You told your mom, are you still asking questions or fillers? Yeah, sounds okay. I'm going to block this Asher guy. He seems like a dick. How do you handle changes in price and stock with so many items? Do you have any special tactics that you use?
Not really. I just, our VAs will check the inventory and then they'll kind of highlight in our sourcing sheet any product pricing that's changed, and then they'll re-punch it in and then it'll automatically kind of show me what the new profit percentage is, and if I see that it kind of drops to something that's not, I think we can just get more, then I'll have them change the pricing of it. Otherwise, sometimes it's like, oh, it's still a good profit, it's selling pretty well, I have people that are interested in it, I don't want to change the price.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that makes sense. I mean, if it's the difference between like 27 and 32% profit margin, it's not a big difference. But, if it goes from 40% to like 5%, you're probably going to want to change the price a bit. So do you really have a huge opinion on Facebook do you really have a huge opinion on Facebook Marketplace for Canada right now? I don't even know what that means. Hi, Tom. Well, I would just like to know, is eBay too competitive now, or is there still room for me to make an income? Do you still do eBay? Yes, I still do eBay. We started a brand new store literally last night, and it's already made 3 sales. So there's still room. Is it too competitive? I don't believe in competition. I really don't. If there's a will, there's a way. And if you're going to go out of your way to create different listings, bundle listings, multi-packs, you take 2 different suppliers, put their listings together. Like it's never ending opportunities. If you want to do the same thing that everybody else does, yes, you might think that it's too oversaturated or competitive. If you're listing the same listings that everybody else is listing, you're going to get the same results that everybody else is getting. So that's what I have to say. It's not oversaturated or too competitive, and you can still make money. It's just that it really depends on how much effort you want to put in. Hi, Tom. What's the deal with taxes? The buyer's paying state tax. I'm paying state tax. How would I go about becoming tax exempt? Do we teach that inside of the trainings? Did you get tax exempt yet, Donnie?
Just for a couple different stores, but not like overall. Like I'm tax exempt Walmart, tax exempt, I think Home Depot.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works. It's store by, or supplier by supplier, store by store. If you select PayPal for payouts, are there fees for getting funds? I've not selected PayPal or looked into it, but I don't believe that there is, because Facebook sends it through PayPal to your bank anyways. It's actually how you're getting paid out is through PayPal, and you're going to get a PayPal 1099 is how like you get your tax forms. So I don't think that there'll be any difference. I do think that Facebook will eventually raise the fees. I mean, 5% selling fees is much lower than any other platform out there, and it's amazing. But I don't think it's going to be a forever. I don't think 5% will be forever, but make as much money as possible while you can. On any platform, when processing a lot of orders, do you always check tracking to make sure it arrived? Yes. Or do you assume? So that is one thing. If you are very busy, do you do any of this yet, Donnie?
Yeah, I've just recently been way more serious about it, just because it's an easy review catcher as well.
And it's one thing that I feel like most people, until they start doing a lot of volume, just assume that every single time the item arrives, and in reality, it does not. Not every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly kind of surprising how many don't, or they get lost or sent back, or there's always an issue sometimes. So, it is something to look into. And also you need to realize with customer service, the customer's going to be way more pissed if they find out that the item didn't show up and they have to contact you. But if you find out and contact them, then they're going to be happy. And that's with customer service, it's very simple in keeping them happy customers. And that's pretty much all you need to do. So we got about 12 minutes left. We're gonna stay on, try to answer every single one. I think we can if we rapid fire through them. Be sure to smash that like button. Let's get it out to as many people as possible. Also, like I've said, if you are interested, we're running a discount for 40% off until the end of tomorrow. Any training, Facebook Marketplace, eBay Retail, eBay Wholesale, Amazon, and I believe the VA course, or that might just be the add-on at the end. I did not make the sales page, but if you're interested, be sure to check out the link in the description down below, and I will also pin it in the comments. So where's the next? It called you Dustin, but it's close enough, I guess. When you hired a VA, I'd be mad. And when you hired a VA, do you have them just find products or also other things? Yeah. What was the first thing you outsourced?
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, I was trying to get the question. The first thing I had him do was immediately just find products. And luckily, I mean, a lot of the VAs have experience doing things that I don't have experience doing. So, I hired 2 people who are already better at finding winning products than I am. And so I said, do what you do. You find winning products,
Yeah.
And
she's not that way.
Finding winning products.
There you go. It's almost as if that's what they're hired to do, or they've had experience with it. Although I don't always trust other people's experience or what they taught or what they've been taught, but as long as you're looking over them and you understand that they're doing everything pretty well, then it's a safe bet. I don't understand why you wouldn't. But sometimes, they'll oh yeah, I know all this, and they'll tell you like proficient in this software, and then it's like 25 different softwares. I'm like, are you really? That you've used all these, or you just like logged in once? And that's kind of where, as long as you oversee, you make sure what they're doing is right, and then you should be good. All right, so Ecom Tomcat says 85 people. It's now 94 people are watching. Smash the like button. Is retail drop shipping not worth doing anymore? It's not worth doing. I'm just saying, if you haven't started yet, like, you might as well try to start off on a better foot. You can still try. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just here to try to help you out for longevity. Tracking numbers from one of my orders not working for Walmart, and USPS said it's delivered, but Facebook said that it's out for delivery for a while. Now it's holding my funds. About to leave the US for a week. Want to know if I can continue orders from Honduras. That question really, I don't know, it took a turn right there. I mean, you're gonna maybe. I mean, Facebook sometimes reads it weird. I went through eBay recently today on one account, and some said shipped and not delivered, even though they were delivered. You'll get your funds. And yes, you can do it from Honduras. If you have any questions or any issues with it, then just get a VPN. You'll be fine. So, how many hours a week are you personally spending on this? This is a question for you.
It varies, but I'd say anywhere between maybe 5 to 10.
There you go. That's pretty good. You have a full-time job, right?
Yeah. But also, like, I'm really trying to scale it the best that I can. So I'm putting a lot of effort into making sure that we have systems with our VAs that work and are, scalable, and, like you said, hiring a potential VA to manage. And so I'm spending a lot more time with her than I was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So that would be more the 5 hour in, and then this is now kind of more the 10 hour in.
No, I mean, that's fine. It's 5 to 10 either way. It's not that much. I mean, a lot of people, you can put in a lot more effort. And like, we just started a new store or a big project that's coming up. And I really do think that it's going to take some effort in the beginning. Like, I probably put in 7 hours or 8 hours on this one, like setting up this one store last week. And I can imagine it's going to be more this week. But once everything's up and running, it should be almost completely all automated on eBay. And then we'll push into Walmart, and we'll push into other things like that and go from there. It's all about the initial effort and then reaping the rewards of it, hopefully, if you did it correctly, or if it all worked. Do you always confirm delivery by checking tracking? No, you already asked this question. Yes. How much money do you say you should have to start dropshipping on Facebook? So I always say at least $500. You're not going to get your money back immediately. You do have to use your own funds. You don't have to purchase any of the software, but some of it helps. And the more money that you have, the more money that you can make, or credit, or lines of credit, either way. But if you don't have any money, then I'd say you want to get some money first. And if you don't have that much, then start with lower priced items, because then you can at least flip it a lot more frequently from there. What's a good place to find VAs? Onlinejobs.ph, Upwork. We used FreeUp recently. You should look into FreeUp, Donnie. It's actually pretty damn good. They already pre-vetted the VAs, and you just have to interview. You put up the job post, and they give you 3 or 4 to interview. So it's the best of the best. A little bit more expensive, but a lot of them have e-commerce experience too. Do you have VAs do your item researching? Yes. Is there a method, or just pure right on? I don't know what the hell that means. Can you buy Facebook accounts and try dropshipping on that account? You can. I bought one once, and then the dude gave me one that was based in Mexico and said I'm not allowed to change the location. And then I was like, I'm over this. It's too confusing. I feel like some people have, though. I'm not sure, though. I'm not 100% well versed in it. Hey, Tom, what way do you get paid fast on Facebook Marketplace? No extra way to get paid fast. It's just the way to get paid through your bank account. Where are we? There's some random ass questions. I don't even know. How do you list furniture when it says shipping is not available? What's your answer here?
Well, Basically, you just kind of use like the miscellaneous option, or best describe it in the categories however best you can without listing it as furniture. So sometimes it's like, household. I list a lot of things in household. So people will look for furniture and household, but furniture is too heavy, so it won't let you. And so we'll do sometimes just miscellaneous household, or the best description that has shipping available on it is what we look for.
That's all you need to do, and you should be fine. So it's not always going to be one size fits all, and you'll sometimes see Facebook will put it in the right category afterwards and still keep the shipping on it. So instead of a VPN, is a remote desktop connection the best way for outsider to sell on US, or is there even a better way? I have no idea. I don't see the difference. The remote desktop, you would need to go into some form of a computer, which would probably just be the same as VPN. I really have no idea. 1K net profit this week. There you go, Yvette. Congratulations. Keep it up. We already answered that. Hey, Tom, I'm in the middle of the course and loving it so far. I'm filling the sourcing list as I go through the course. I'm excited to start selling. That's awesome, Carlos. Keep it up. Get everything ready. Know what you're doing and then start listing. Don't just start listing without any real plan, because if you start popping off and making sales and just have no idea what to do, then you don't want that. How do you list furniture when it says shipping? Oh, dude, we literally answered this question. Asked it 3 times. Hey, Tom, what do you do to get paid? I need to read these questions beforehand. What is the minimum budget to start drop shipping? The same questions get asked literally nonstop. And so minimum budget, say $500. We'll throw that out there. Imagine you have only a PC and internet for 1 week. I don't know what that means. I've never imagined that. Do you use Shipper Bay? No, not really. I have, but the owner of it really doesn't respond. I'm pretty sure I messaged him on Facebook and he called me dear, and then which means that he's lying about who he is, because it's usually only people from Morocco that call me dear, and he says he's in New York City, and then he hasn't answered me back after that. So I'm not sure. The man seems to be lost in action, missing in action. Hey, Tom, for Facebook, I'm trying to expand to more accounts. Do you have any advice on getting new Facebook accounts with shipping enabled? I really don't. Also, I put my EIN in when it asked for tax info, but it formatted it as a social security number. Is some random dude going to get a huge 1099K? I really hope not. Some people said that it worked. Some people said it didn't. I had one man message me the other day that he got his EIN to work. But if you're trying to find other Facebook accounts with the shipping enabled, you could try to buy it and see what happens. I'm not sure. I've used family members and friends, all of which I've used their social security number, and we're figuring it out later. So it's kind of an iffy situation. I don't think that the way that we're selling on Facebook Marketplace is going to stay like this forever. And I really do think that there's going to be a much more well put together method that's coming out. I forgot to mention, I've listed items onto my Facebook shop, which is much more well put together than Facebook Marketplace, which you can connect into Facebook Marketplace now if you do it the right way, but it's a pain. And I made the first sale the other day. So it's a new method completely, and it wasn't the best profit. And the person had to message me first, and I had to barter with them. And I'm very surprised. The first person ever to message me did make the sale. They did buy. But it is a proof of concept. So I'm happy to see that moving along. And that will be updated inside of the course as well, when that's something that's actually well put together that I can put out there. When you list an item and set up the price, do you allow the option of negotiating it or negotiate the price when buying multiple items? I don't usually put any option to do that, but if they do want to buy multiple, then I'll say yeah and work on a discount. It's kind of what I just said with that one item that I just sold. Do you negotiate at all, Donnie?
No, I definitely don't check that box. And then sometimes if it's a good sale or whatever, and I'm still making good profit, I'll just go in and edit it and let them know they can make an offer at whatever amount we agree on.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you track the VA's hours they work? For us personally, we use actual tracking software. We moved over to Hubstaff. Do you do anything like that or use any of the programs?
No, I kind of
Just trust
explained at
them.
the beginning. Well, yeah, and I set their hours and say, hey, this is what I'm paying you for this week. Don't work any more than that because I'm not paying you any more than that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Obviously in a nice way. And then when I just feel like you can always tell when they're putting in the hours. I
Yeah,
feel like listing is a direct result to sales, and if they're listing and they cheated me out on an hour, then joke's on me, I guess. But
joke's on your $4 loss.
yeah.
No, I've been pretty much the same way on some of my stores with the people that I've had for like a long time. The newer people that we bring on, a little bit more strict, but I'd say it's once you see that they're doing this certain amount of work, like whether that is 40 hours a week or whatever, as long as they're reproducing the same amount of work every week and you're happy with it, I mean, you're probably paying them $400 something a month. And what's the difference between plus or minus $50 on that, even like at the very worst, even if you are making $7,000 profit, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right, so let's finish these questions up. We're past the hour mark here. I'm actually in a different time zone than you guys, so I was a little confused getting started, but it's only 7 p.m. here now because Mexico, where I am, just doesn't want to do daylight savings, I guess. Threw me for a loop. If the item has a different color, do you list them all or just pick one and go with it? And it doesn't really matter. You can do either or you can put, if they're all similar prices, you can put them in the listing, like, let me know what color you want. Do you do anything like that?
No, I just list them all as separate listings personally.
That's not the worst idea. It's either way. I just signed up, but I never received an email. Check your spam box or wait a little bit. It'll show up. We've already answered this. When making a return, do you ask your customer to ship it to you first or ship it directly to the supplier? So you're going to get the label from the supplier, then you're going to give the label to the customer, and the customer is going to ship it straight to your supplier, and you will never touch the item. Sometimes you might touch the item. Sometimes they get your address, they send it to you. I've gotten a few free things that way. It's pretty nice. Where are we? 98 people watching right now. 2 more to 100. We actually had over 100. So thank you all very much. I've only had like 4 or 5 that have hit 100 so far. So I appreciate it. Be sure to smash that like button. I'm sure this is going to get a lot of views. And let's get this out to as many people as possible. SKU grid is not perfect. Is that what you were trying to say? That was a bit of, yeah, SKU grid's not perfect. Off topic, Michael Jackson. I have no idea. What the hell is it? What are they asking about? I don't know. I have no opinion on that. Thank you. Glad got my stimulus. So put 500 aside to start. Oh, there you go. Hopefully if you can turn that into a lot more money, at least you're using your stimulus money for good, where I feel like some people will go and blow it on something that just isn't worth it and then just be out the money. Can you mention the site you hire VAs, please? I did not hear your suggestions. Onlinejobs.ph. The dot is a dot as in a period. The PH stands for Philippines. And that's Upwork or Free Up. Tom, tell us one tip to do $10 of $1 or so, or you don't know. I don't know what that question means. How obscure is obscure enough for retail, eBay, if that makes sense? Just anything more outside of the Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot, and you should be good. Possibly use Stripe. No. Hey, Tom, I'm going to outsource listing to a VA from the Philippines. She will be using IP Burger VPN. We will limit 50 items per day. Do you think I might get flagged? I think you're fine, as you should be good to go. I don't really see any issues with it. You might want to do a little bit less than 50 just when you first get started to make sure that you're good to go, and then kind of go from there. You just asked the question too and paid me $5. Again, thank you very much for the $5 donation. I appreciate it, Miguel. I'd probably go a little bit less than 50 just to make sure that you don't give the VA like too much work. I feel like that's a lot for just one person right off the bat. What other retail suppliers you recommend besides the common? It's inside of trainings. Like what you do for the shipping labels, options to get paid faster. We upload them on time and you get paid accordingly. Okay, legit question, Bert Seisman, is that what it is? Isn't it too late for spring, summer products to list on eBay? I don't know, like list them and just see what works. I mean, it's never too late. Like, is it too late for St. Patrick's Day? Probably. Is it too late for Valentine's Day? Definitely. For spring and summer, no. I think wasn't it just the first day of spring the other day? Tell the ultimate answer. This is the ultimate answer. I just gave it to you. Does seller metrics matter? I would say so. It's obviously going to matter. Okay, it's BRT, man, it's all over the place. What responsibilities? We've already answered this. Please take this question. Which Facebook ID should I be? All right, what does it say? We're running out of questions here, and we're gonna move forward with this. Please take this question. Which Facebook ID should we use for it? Is it necessary to have international ID of anyone? What if, I don't know if you're not in the United States, it's going to be very hard for you to get this to work unless you're selling in your own country. That's all I have to say. Tell us honestly how much up-to-date mark. I don't even know what this man's saying. All right, last question from Brian Wick here. What is a good, consistent daily amount of listings for Facebook Marketplace? I mean, it's really up to you. I'd say at least over 10. What do you try to aim for, Donnie? I think you mentioned it earlier.
Right now we're trying to do at least 25 a day. But early on I had a personal goal of 10 a day.
You were doing it yourself? Yeah. How long did it take for you to get over doing it yourself?
Oh, like a month. And I'm like, I'm done doing this. And my first week hiring a VA, we made double what we ever made. So I was like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously that it's the proof is there, and it's really just all about taking the leap of faith, because I know a lot of people are afraid, and it's understandable. Do you give VAs listing guidelines or specific categories or sub niches? You can answer this one.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think at this point we have kind of a track record of what we sell a lot of. Not that that's like there's that, barrier, but just for us, I feel like we've got an idea of what sells a lot. And so we try to sell items that are in that specific niche.
That makes sense.
So yes, I do kind of give them guidelines.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, anything that's sold over a certain amount, or whatever, you'll realize what categories start working for you, and then kind of just going based off that. So we finished up this live. I appreciate Donnie for coming on. We've only had like you and Jake Penny recently, and I appreciate and Eric. I appreciate you coming on. Do you have any last words before I give my last words?
No, I just, I would say this. And this isn't like, I'm not like a selly guy, and I was super skeptical of the whole thing. But I watched it, did every single step along the way, and I just think it works. So, I would say to anybody who did, sign up for it, don't take shortcuts, watch every bit of it, even if you feel like it's irrelevant. And, it's not like you come across it, months in, and you go, wow, I remember looking at that, and that's actually helpful. So I even still go back and watch it, and, kind of use it as a reference. So it works. It's helpful. And I'm really, grateful that I started to do it, because it's helped me personally.
I appreciate it. And thank you for the kind words. And again, I mean, we don't just talk to talk. In the course, like, there are some videos that I'm sure are boring. Like, I've watched a lot of courses and been like, wow, this is boring, but I always try to watch the entire thing, because sometimes there'll be that one little nugget that slips out there like halfway through the video that you would have never seen, because the title wasn't really even about that, but then you found it later and things like that. So Miguel just gave another $5 shout out, so I have to answer his question. Condensed info of what I should do right in not getting Facebook flagged and hiring a VA. Just have a VPN, and just don't list too many items right off the bat. I think that's mainly just for your VA, because if you're giving them 50 items to list a day, like, their fingers are gonna hurt, dude. Like, they're literally gonna have brittle fingers afterwards. Like, nobody wants to list 50 items a day. And then that should be it. So that's all we got for today. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Be sure to smash that like button one last time. I don't know how many likes we got. Let's try to get at least 65 likes before we get off here. We're at like 58 right now. And one last, we do have the training, 40% off for St. Patrick's Day. I don't even remember when St. Patrick's Day was. I think it was 16th or 17th. Mexico, I guess we don't celebrate it. And yeah, if you've been interested, 40% off for every single training we have out there. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me on Instagram. I don't know if I have it down below, Tom Cormier. It's pretty simple. That's where we're going to, answer every single question. And one last thing, I have a client in the US, should we use his ID? If he's in the US, you want to be using a US person's ID, yes. And that's that for the day. So thank you all very much for showing up. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram. Thank you all.